Beelzebub's Tales to His Grandson, Chapter 45. In the opinion of Beelzebub, man's extraction of electricity from nature, and its destruction during its use, is one of the chief causes of the shortening of the life of man. After Beelzebub had listened to the contents of the Laitu Champros, and had put it by the side of the Sinoa near him, that is, something similar to our étagère, he again deeply sighed and continued to speak as follows. It would only be half a calamity for our common megalocosmos if the abnormalities of the ordinary existence of the three-brained beings of this planet of yours had all kinds of bad consequences only for them themselves. That is, for the three-brained beings which they are, and also for the possibilities of completely perfecting themselves with those higher being bodies, which have already had the extreme misfortune to arise within them, or which will arise within them in the future. But now, the whole terror lies in this, that their abnormal existence already begins to have a repercussion and a harmful influence on the normal existence of the three-brained beings who breed on quite different planets, though it is true belonging to the same solar system, and also have a harmful influence on the possibilities of the normal self-perfecting of the higher being parts coated in their common presences. I happened to learn about this distressing fact of common cosmic character only just before my departure forever from that solar system ores. The most interesting information for you, of all the events which have given cause for a clear constating and completed crystallizing in my common presence, of the imperishable being data for the indubitable conviction of precisely such a common cosmic distressing fact, might be the information that in this I was greatly helped by none other than the result, or as your favorites would say, the son, of my essence friend Gornahor Harhach, the young conscious individual Gornahor Rachorch, who also, like his producer, devoted the whole of his existence to the study of all the details of the properties of the cosmic omnipresent Okidanoch, and also, little by little, became worthy of being considered one of the what are called higher degree common cosmic learned three-brained beings. Do you know, my boy, in consequence of the fact that all the events and conversations which served as the cause of the gradual elucidation and crystallization in me of the data for the indubitable conviction of such a common cosmic distressing fact, are in general very interesting, and might be for you very instructive, and as only the reflections of the sphere of our dear Caritas are meanwhile visible, I will tell you also about this in somewhat greater detail. In order to give you a fuller representation about why in my being the data has been crystallized for the constating and thorough cognizing of this, I shall tell you, in its order, about what proceeded and shall begin from the moment when, while still on this planet of yours, I first heard about my full pardon. As soon as I heard about this special, most glorious act of grace toward me, I of course decided at that very moment to return at the first opportunity to the dear essence place of my arising. And for this it was necessary for me first of all to ascend to the planet Mars in order thoroughly to prepare for such a long journey. Several days after having left your planet forever, I, as always, returned on our same occasion to the planet Mars. Arriving there on the planet Mars, we soon received our command from above that I, and all the other beings of our tribe who wished to return to the place of their arising, should assemble on the planet Saturn, using the ship Occasion, on which planet that large intersystem ship Omnipresent would land, which would bring us all to our destination. I nevertheless had to exist on the planet Mars for a certain time in order to liquidate all my personal affairs there, and to give various orders concerning the beings of our tribe. And it was just at this time that I was told that the Tuf Nef Tef there very much wished to see me. Tuf Nef Tef on the planet Mars is the name given to the being who is the head of all the three-brained beings breeding on this planet. And he is like that being who, in the same position on your planet, is called King. I knew this Tuf Nef Tef, or King, in his youth, when he was only a Plef Perf Noof. And a Plef Perf Noof is almost the same as our Zerlichners, or, on your planet Earth, physicians. Apropos, I must also tell you that on almost all the planets of our great universe, and likewise on the other planets of this solar system also, a being becomes the head of beings by merit, just from among these former Plef Perf Noofs, or physicians. My first meeting with the Martian Tuf Nef Tef took place when we first arrived on this solar system and settled on this planet Mars. He was then a Plef Perf Noof, just on that part of the surface of this planet where I and all who came with me had the place of our residence. Since then, existing on various parts of the surface of the planet Mars in the capacity of Plef Perf Noof, he merited becoming the head over all the beings breeding on the planet Mars. And when he neared the state of the sacred Ishmech, he desired to return to just that part of the surface of his planet where he had spent his youth. That is why this former Plef Perf Noof, now Tuf Nef Tef, happened at that time to be near the place of my residence on Mars. This Martian Tuf Nef Tef was, according to the notions of your favorites, already an extremely old being. He was, by the time calculation of the planet Mars, about 12,000 Martian years old, which is only a little less than the time calculation of the Earth. Here you must be told that on the planet Mars, the duration of the existence of beings in general is almost the same as that of the three-centered beings of all the other planets of our megalocosmos, excepting, of course, those beings who are directly formed from the first tetartocosmoses, and whose duration of existence may be 3 times as long. The three-brained beings arising and existing on the planet Mars, as well as the three-centered beings of all those planets of our megalocosmos on which an existence normal for three-brained beings proceeds, also have full possibility of reaching the state of the sacred Ishmech, namely that being state when the existence of a being already becomes dependent, as regards the most great cosmic Iraniranyamanj, only on those substances which arise directly from the manifestations of the most holy prime source itself, and not as it proceeds in the other beings whose existence depends on cosmic substances arising through the results of all the corresponding gravity-centered concentrations of the common cosmic fundamental Ansan-Baluazar. And when they reach this state of the sacred Ishmech, and the reason of their highest part is already perfected up to the required gradation of the sacred measure of reason, then in the first place, the process of the sacred